All right, what's up, guys? It's currently about 10:20 at night. I've been very busy. I have a quiz tomorrow, an essay later in the week. I got just some school stuff going on, and for whatever reason, I just didn't really get around to making a recap for today's trades. I did not go live today. Today was a Wednesday. So I did end up recording the session from today. So I've got a video here of the session. I thought I would just kind of go through it and show you guys kind of how I ended up today. So yeah, I mean, kind of looking at this pre-market action, I already knew that today was likely to be kind of choppy. There's just really kind of disgusting action here. These are 1 minute candles before the open, and then kind of off the open, I'm just kind of scrubbing through the video here, so I apologize. This is gonna be pretty quick, but we got just kind of a vertical push up off the open, and I was looking at equities too, and trading some equities. So this is just gonna be a quick scrub through kind of the session. My first trade was shortly off the open. In hindsight, I guess I do regret this, but in terms of the scalping strategy that I'm doing, this is kind of the strategy. So it's, I just took the setup for that, continuation. But you can see how big these candles are. We got this quick push up to 30 off the open, and then 7-point pullback here. And as this candle pulled back into the 9 EMA, I'm putting my buy stop above the high of that candle. It breaks. I'm looking for 5 points. A quick, with that type of trade, when it breaks the high of that candle, really kind of that reversed hard. So, that was a $62 loss right there. But basically, again, with that type of trade, I'm just looking for this to snap in a big way and just get that big, follow through candle. And if it's going to happen, it's going to happen, within the first 10, 15, 20 minutes off the open. That's kind of the prime time to just get huge candles like that. And we had, been getting those on the way up, but I was waiting for that pullback just to get that rip your face off move continuation. Ultimately that didn't happen. We ended up coming back down. So I can't say I'm very surprised. You look at the structure kind of on the 5 minute. And if you look at that, it's just like a really random, massive, huge candle up. And just the structure doesn't really support it, so it's no surprise that we kind of ended up coming back down. We came back down. We actually made new lows. I'm just going to scrub through here. So this is just me waiting. I actually took a short position at this point, which was a little bit presumptuous as we were coming back down. But unfortunately, that equity trade, I did size into that 500 shares. You can see I'm short here on AMD. I was up on that position nicely couple times as this started to kind of fluctuate up and down. So you can see I'm up like 113 there. I was looking for more. I was looking for low on the session, and then here kind of just a rip your face off candle, and I'm down on the position. It would kind of move up and down a lot. So you can see the market here just kind of very choppy. So there AMD ends up coming back down here. You can see I'm up $120, but ultimately I would end up taking a loss on that position. Actually, the market did end up moving higher, so there's just kind of another rip your face off move higher. I'm flipping around to a bunch of different stocks. At this point, we're past 10 o'clock here. The market is still deciding which way it wants to go. Coming into the open here, we're already kind of at this 3,700 support. And so we're just kind of right back into that right now. And I remember thinking at this point that I was probably on the wrong side of this with that AMD short. In terms of a futures trading perspective, there was really nothing here. You can see the choppiness of these candles pretty much after that first attempt and failure. I've learned from the previous days that, when it's a choppy session, and there's just not good follow through, which you can see that's the rest of these candles, just lots of choppiness, lots of wicks, just lots of false moves. That is just a terrible environment for this continuation scalp strategy. And I did not want to fall into the pattern of just, taking trade after trade after trade and just losing. So, which is, something I've fallen into before. So, you can see this AMD trade was just at a certain point here as it was ripping up. I decided, I think around here, to just get out of the position. Yeah, I had taken 200 shares off around break even, and you can see I'm getting ready to get out of the rest here. If I can, because I was starting to think I was on the wrong side of this one. You might think, well, you should just put a stop above, the recent pivot. I don't think that's what I ended up doing. I think I just ended up getting out of this for about, so I just got out of it there for like a $20 loss as it was ripping up. Like right there, I'm out. So $20 hit, like all said and done, it's not that bad, but I do wish I'd kind of gotten out while I was green on that position. At this point, looking at the market, it was no surprise that we're kind of coming back up. There's just this support here is just coming in really strong, and it just, the structure here just doesn't really look like it's just going to randomly break, right? So, if this is going to hold up, the target becomes 30 again and then 40. So at this point we're starting to come up, and I remember as this candle was squeezing up, I was very eagerly quickly trying to think about getting into a long trade. So I pretty aggressively, you can see here, got long there on MES. So this is kind of the chart that I used for my previous strategy, and this is a 15-minute chart just looking at levels. So this was kind of a reversion to that other strategy, but I took this with kind of the smallest size here, 3 MES contracts, and felt pretty good about the direction of this one. And I liked this structure a lot better. We kind of got that false move up and then a retest to 3,700, and then this is kind of a much more stronger kind of hammering bullish structure that I liked on the 15-minute chart. So I decided I did want to get long there. You can see pretty quickly I was taking a little bit of heat on this trade, and I realized I kind of FOMO'd in. I didn't get probably the right entry on it. You can see I'm actually down like 4 points there. So I realized, I kind of jumped into this, but I did feel pretty safe that this was actually going to move up at this point. So it was just a matter of waiting. And then if I just scrub forward here, you can see it took a little bit of waiting, longer than I expected. You can see right here, I was looking at this. This is the TOS chart. This is the 1-minute structure of the ES, just kind of, instead of looking at it on Ninja, sometimes I like to look at it on TOS. Just gives just a slightly different kind of view of the same thing. And I liked the way that this looked quite a bit, so I was hanging in there, no reason to stop out. And then this candle was quite concerning. If I go forward 30 seconds, watching this candle reverse. So you can see that green candle on the 1 minute came up, and then right here it starts to reverse back down, which I thought was not ideal. So you can see it dumping there. And I did not like that, and so that was actually enough to take me out of that trade. So you can see right here my stop at basically 37.10. In hindsight, I wish I had moved it lower, but I think I'd already moved it lower once before. Let's see what I end up doing here. Do I move it? No, I just get taken out there. So I knew that was maybe going to be a mistake, and you can see now I'm sitting down 175. So I did get stopped out of that, and I think that's just a result of my kind of FOMO entry, honestly. And you can see it does kind of push back up, and within a couple more minutes we're squeezing back up. And so I realized I just got wicked out of that, and I basically told myself, well, yeah, that's just unfortunate. I basically stopping out there was a mistake. That was just where my stop was set, so it kind of felt like, it's one of those things where the FOMO entry made me have a worse entry, and therefore my stop was in a spot that wasn't really where it belonged, right? Where it belonged was below 37.10, not at 37.10. So I think the stop was like 37.10.25 or something. Just stupid stop. Like, it needs to be below that level. So anyway, that was dumb. But it ended up kind of working out because what ended up happening was that I said, well, I still like the 15-minute structure, and if this does break through the highs, I'm looking at this TOS 1-minute chart. This looks really, really good now for that move up to VWAP. It looks very, very good. So I think at this point I was in the trade again, getting in there. So I'm going to quickly flip back to Ninja Trader right here. Yeah, so now you can see I'm in the position again, five contracts this time. And I'm down, taking a little bit of heat. I bought the high of the candle. It's a bit aggressive, but you can see I moved the take profit way down because this is just way higher than where I want it. I'm looking for this back up to kind of in front of 30. And now I'm up 3.5 points on the trade. And then it won't take long for this to squeeze a little bit more, 4 points. And so you can see on the 5-minute candle what this is looking at, like very, very healthy, very good structure, liking this quite a bit, and thinking that we should get the move back up to 30. So I'm going to, I fast forwarded 30 seconds, but so we get the new 15-minute candle. That can be a catalyst for continuation. And boom, right there, just that was a quick trade, buying that through the high of the 15-minute candle. That's a pretty aggressive breakout, but I did think that 15-minute candle came all the way down, and then if it was going to make a new high, this is the move I was looking for. So that looked really, really good. Now up 10.5 points on still one contract in the trade. I'm going to fast forward 30 seconds, another 30 seconds, bit of a pullback. I put my stop on that last contract at break even. Just going to keep fast forwarding. At this point, I was in a long trade on United. This setup looked really, really good to me. This was an earnings name, so I kind of wasn't surprised if this was going to have a nice move. Fast forwarding a little bit more, still in this United trade. I was in this United trade for a while, still setting up really well. Looks great, coming up, nice, looks great, taking some profit, up $100 now. This one, unfortunately, didn't end up continuing, and so I did end up taking just about a $50 win on United. It was a winner, but just not quite what it could have been. So you can see I'm up over $100 on it. It just kept looking good. Oops. And then fast forwarding. Let's see if I can see if we're still in that. I'm going back now. Oh yeah, okay, so I missed it. So it's right here. I'm up 13.5 points on my last contract. I'm pretty sure I just close it out. Yeah, so I just closed it out there, that last contract. No reason to get greedy and let's just take the profit, right? Because we were down 175 going into that trade. So that was really nice. And I was flipping to United. And then I'm going to scrub way forward here. United ended up being a small winner. I took some other equity trades. I can just go over this. The equity side of things ended up being kind of a wash. And then this is coming up to like 11 o'clock at this point. So this is much later in the session. I did end up taking one more continuation setup trade just because I liked this setup. But I knew that this was probably not ideal just because we're later in the session. It's 11 o'clock, but this is a setup. So I thought I'd give it a try for kind of that washout move. And I wasn't sure if I was going to get filled. When I place these trades, it has to hit me first. And I'm only in the trade if it's already working in my favor. So if this is right here just going to rip up, then it's not a trade I'm going to take. But this ultimately did end up being a trade that I did take. So I really liked how this candle came up. And you're going to see me move my order in a second when this candle closes. So I'm watching the bar timer here. And when this candle closes, I'm going to throw that order to the bottom of this candle, looking for that snap move. So this is setting up really well. I took this because it started to look really good. Kind of that move into the gold line, right? And then coming up, rejecting. So there you can see I threw that order. I would have liked that candle to close red, close it as a doji. So that had me a little bit hesitant, but you can see if this candle cracks the low of the previous one, I'm going to be in this trade, and we're in right there. Quick half a point there, but this one took a little bit of time. I had to be patient with this one. So you can see I'm down half a point there. Again, the stop is just 1.25 points. So it either pretty much goes or it doesn't. And so then it didn't take long. at some point here, oh, that was close. So at the 1.5 mark, when you're up a 1.5 in this trade, it moves to break even. The stop moves to break even. So we were up a 1.25 there, didn't get the break even. It came back up, went back to red. It's fluctuating up and down. So again, typically with this type of trade, you want to see that snap move. But look at this setup. This looks really good. I'm willing to be patient with this. So there, that candle closes at the low. That's great. Stop move to break even. So we're sitting pretty in this trade. We can't lose on it. So that's a once that happens, it's kind of like a sigh of relief. Nothing can really go wrong. We're either doing well in this trade, taking full 5 points, or we're break even. So this candle's coming up, looking like it might take us out break even. You're gonna see, ooh, one tick from taking me out break even, and then it instantly reverses. So sometimes the trading gods just come into play like that, and then bam, we crack the lows. Looking good here, but this unfortunately ends up not working. So you guys are gonna see, I spoiled it for you, but you can see that this just isn't breaking lower as fast as we want it to. It broke the low of the pivot. Come on, let's see this continue. Here we go. So we want to see this come down, and we're just not seeing it. So I do end up pulling the trigger out of this trade manually because I wanted something out of it. But you're going to see this candle comes down a little bit more too. This candle comes down. Bam. That wicked down to up 4 points in the trade at one point just for a moment. We're looking for 5 points. So here we go. This is looking good. This is looking real good. I'm feeling good at this point, thinking that this is gonna work. We just need one more point, but it just, in the end, it doesn't get there. I'm fast forwarding that I did not like the open of that next candle. That next candle, I did not like the open, and as it started to come up, I just said, "Yep, I'm out." And sure enough, it did. Just moments later, wicked up to break even. So I got $50 out of that, and I was down 175 as I showed earlier. But with that MES trade through the high of the 15-minute candle, through that push, we were able to make a lot back on that, and then another $50 on this trade. So we ended the day up 100 on the eval account, and on the equities side, it was up about $100 as well. So pretty much a kind of whatever day, but a really good. Even though things didn't go perfectly, it would have been nice to get the full 5 points on that one. That would have been a good story, because we were down 175, and so $275 comeback, that's not bad. And you can see where the account's sitting, 25,460. So not bad, can't complain. Anytime you go from red to green is definitely a good day. All right, that's gonna be it for this recap. This is getting kind of long. So anyway, guys, if you appreciate these recaps, if you think they're helpful for you, or you just enjoy watching them, I appreciate you guys hitting that thumbs up. And remember the TCP link. You can get a $50,000 funded account for a lower price than the 25K eval. So that's a promotion that's going on right now, and there's a link to check that out in the description. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys. I'll be live tomorrow morning. Hope to see you guys there. All right, that's it.